There have been several instances of WWE superstars not selling their opponents' moves so as to project themselves to be very strong. There have also been several instances where some of them oversell it to an extent where that it became hilarious to watch. Join us today as we look at wrestlers who oversold other wrestlers' moves hilariously.
This guy is the biggest loser in the world.
Before I jump into this, into the text, and several texts. Before we get into our study tonight, I want to address an issue. I want to address an issue. It's pretty much, out there. Many of you who follow this channel, Testaments and Testimonials, he released 2 videos, I believe.
Fans have constantly debated Santino Marella's Cobra finisher, which is regarded as one of the funniest finishes in WWE history. JTG battled Santino in his final bout on WWE Superstars in 2013, and fans still recall his huge oversell after taking the Cobra to the face. The way JTG made it seem like he was genuinely poisoned and losing his wits was so unique and hilarious.
Catching the boot. Cobra strike!
His public statement of him no longer, I guess you can say, associating on this channel. And so he released a video. Not sure what he's going to do with the mob. I'm pretty sure the mob is going to be dogging his doorstep, trying to get him over there with him.
Number 9, Shawn Michaels. One of the finest wrestlers to ever enter a WWE ring is Shawn Michaels, in the opinion of many. The Heartbreak Kid was incredibly skilled at making his opponent's moves look expensive by expertly selling them. He has also oversold a few times, though. At the Survivor Series on November 17, 1996, HBK sprang from the ropes and took a kick from Psycho Sid, while hilariously exaggerating the impact of the move. It would be impossible to avoid bringing up SummerSlam 2005, when Shawn Michaels engaged in one of the biggest oversells ever during his match with Hulk Hogan. Shawn certainly went too far. He seemed to be poking fun of Hogan, who was obviously upset.
But, we're living in a time where, faithfulness to God's people, faithfulness to the truth. Some people can start with you, but not always end with you. And so I make no bones about my position. I make no bones about what I believe, what I say. If you are a friend, then your friendship will be shown in times of testing.
Number 8, The Rock. Every time The Rock and Steve Austin stepped into the ring, a show was guaranteed because they frequently squared off over the years, and both rose to fame in the WWE. Austin frequently utilized the Stone Cold Stunner, his signature move, and The Rock consistently sold it better than anyone else.
Yeah. Solomon says in Proverbs, he says, many a man proclaims his own loyalty, but who can find a trustworthy man? Many people say that they're your friends until it's time to show themselves as a true friend.
At WrestleMania 18, Hall humorously oversold the Stunner in the closing seconds. Austin stunned him twice to win the match. The second Stunner, which is now considered one of the best oversells in WWE history, caused Scott Hall to hilariously fly into the air when the first one failed to knock him off his feet.
Yeah. And so what the Lord has been showing me, not a lot of people who claim to be your friends are your friends. Not a lot of people who claim to be, your ride or die, Ace Boone Coon, all that. But for me, I don't apologize for who God made me. And again, unless it is sin, I'm not backing down from the position and the personality that God gave me.
Number 5, Ric Flair. Ric Flair is one of the greatest WWE superstars of all time. He is a 2-time member of the WWE Hall of Fame and a 16-time world champion in the company. Although the Nature Boy has had a remarkable career, his Flair flop is one of the things that fans will always associate him with. The classic Ric Flair flop consisted of a really delayed reaction, as Flair received a hit, acted as if nothing happened, and after a few seconds he fell face first onto the floor. Fans liked this reaction from the Nature Boy and looked forward to it every time he was in the ring.
Oh my! And Hardy with an enziguri, and the Nature Boy caught in the temple.
Very important here in the Royal Rumble. The championship matches. Flair goes face first.
The plan offensively. Eddie Guerrero, I talked to him before the pay-per-view.
Oh, the nose dive! Oh boy!
Certainly fair play. Oh.
You don't have to like it, but you're definitely not going to lord over me. Period. So maybe Dan could one day biblically explain his flip and his switch and his change. Maybe. But the same way he made his videos publicly, I will offer that opportunity for him to come on this channel, or I go on his channel. And then we can have a biblical conversation if I am truly in sin.
Batista. Mark Henry is strong, but even Henry can't headbutt someone and send them flying, can he? The world's strongest man headbutted Batista on a Raw episode, and Batista flung himself backwards as if he had been struck by a bus or something similar. The animal overstepped his bounds this time, despite the fact that Batista was never a particularly talented performer and always made an effort to make bouts as realistic as possible.
Mark Henry, the world's strongest man.
Because see, what I don't follow is our feelings. I follow facts, and only the facts. I have feelings. I have preferences. I have desires. I have expectations of people. But what I strive to do by God's grace is never to make my preference someone else's precept to follow. And far too many of you are falling prey for people to gaslight you, to manipulate you into believing and following what they want you to follow. And so I'm not going to waste my time with anybody. If you're not going to bring the charge to me face to face, then get out of my face. And that goes for anyone, the mob, that gay over there. But I will say this. I will say this. There will be a response coming.
So on January 4th, 1999, during the 173rd episode of WCW Monday Nitro, Hollywood Hogan managed to defeat Kevin Nash in a genuinely novel manner. Nash made what is arguably the biggest oversell in history after Hogan lightly caressed his chest with his finger. Hogan easily overcame Big Sexy when he collapsed to the ground. This was one of the oddest, saddest, and funniest things that has happened in wrestling. That's all for today, guys. Wrestlers who sold other wrestlers moves hilariously. Don't forget to subscribe if you loved the video and smash the bell icon so you don't miss out on future videos.
There will be a response coming, and it won't be the response that some of y'all are thinking, but it will be a response. I guarantee you that. I will respond. Now, depending on how Dan moves and depending on who may be in his ear will determine how I respond to Dan. But if he has any mob-like inkling or tendencies in any other responses, I'm not sure if he's going to make another video. He can do whatever he want to do. But if it's like the mob, then I'm going to respond accordingly. Because what I'm not going to do over here on this channel is let people lob attacks and false accusations, and I say nothing about it. There's a time when you're quiet and then there's a time when you better stop being quiet and open up your mouth. Because if no one else defends you, you better start defending yourself. See, when somebody tries to break into my house, I don't call Scott Newman. I don't call Proverbs. I don't call Quam. I don't call Xerix. I don't call Brother James. I handle it. I handle the threat myself. Now, if they're in the neighborhood and they know I'm in trouble and they may come up and hoo-dee-hoo and get some backup, then that's cool. But I'm responsible for my name. I'm responsible for my character. I'm responsible for the ministry that God gave me. And far too many people want you to just to shut up and not say anything. Let God fight. No, God fights, but he also fights through means. And he has given me this platform. He's given me this channel and the resources for what he has called me to do. And this is why a lot of these clowns and cowards will never come up and pull up over here to challenge me in these accusations, because they're cowards. They're weak. So, not gonna ramble on that too much longer, but I didn't want to act like the elephant wasn't in the room when there's poop on the floor. So now that that's out the way and that's been dealt with, there will be a response forthcoming. And you'll know about it when you hear about it. All right? So.
Negro, please.